So in your own words, describe what your new film, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, is about.
I'm Thinking of Ending Things is an incredibly original film. It is complex and exciting in its ideas, but ultimately it's about a kind of lonely, disconnected guy and deals with issues of loneliness and disconnection and hope for connection and longing, and also memory and regret and guilt and all of the things that we grapple with as humans at some point.
Were you familiar with Charlie's work before doing the film, and what made you want to work with him?
I have loved Charlie's films for a very long time. I'm a huge fan of his. I would do anything for him. I think he's an incredible filmmaker. I had almost worked with him in the past, and it didn't quite come to be. So I'm so glad, I'm so flattered that he asked me to be a part of this. I still can't believe my luck. I think he's an incredibly original filmmaker, and it was a very freeing experience working with him. And I don't think it was just the material. I think it's Charlie. I mean, he creates an atmosphere of absolute ease on set. He's so humble and so sensitive and focused, and kind of he creates a very relaxed atmosphere where you feel like you can try anything. And although he's specific in his ideas, he's also incredibly collaborative and just so open to anything that any of the actors or crew suggested. So it's really lovely to work with someone that open. He's achieved so much and has this incredible career, but I think all the best people are still, it is a collaborative endeavor making a movie, and he really is genuinely open to sharing the experience.
What do you think is going on with your character psychologically when she's talking to her son?
Look, my character is really trying to welcome my son's new girlfriend into our home. I love working with anything that's contradictory. I think it just makes it much more interesting and fun as an actor. And so you can tell how much she adores her son to the point of smothering him. And you can tell that she's trying to, present a certain idea of herself to this new person in her space. But actually it's just painful, because for her, it just feels like loss. If this girl is in her kitchen, at her dining table, that girl is probably a threat to her because she's going to lose her son. So you can really feel her pain. She's smiling, but she's crying through the smile, and the body is all contorted. And she keeps reaching out to her son, who's always pulling away. And it's very, very uncomfortable, but funny.
How was the process of de-aging through prosthetics in the film?
I hadn't done much work with prosthetics. It's really quite fascinating. And it definitely helped in terms of where the story is and where my character is and where all the characters are. In a way, we're all kind of the same mind. And as things change, there's kind of the fantasy of looking ahead, and there are memories looking back, and the ground keeps moving. And it was really important to me to have some kind of something to cling to that created a through line, so that you could feel that I was the same woman throughout the entire story. Having said that, people are constantly changing. And this story definitely keeps changing. So there was a real freedom in that. We could literally not screw it up, because you could make any decision and it would still fly. Everything was accepted. So that was an amazing kind of context to work within. Also, with the older version of myself, I think there were 4 different versions. So the eldest is 92, and just having it is a very slow experience getting all of the prosthetic makeup on, but really interesting and really quite fascinating, thinking, wow, maybe like they're working from my structure, maybe I will look like this. It was very bizarre to have kind of a jump forward to what a potential version of myself might look like. But I was very concerned that it didn't feel like a novelty, that people were going to look at it as a makeup job, and I just wanted her to feel like a real person right through to the end. So I really hope that we managed to do that, because that scene where she is older is such a beautiful moment between Jake and his mum. and really paints in a different quality to their relationship.
What was the rehearsal process like?
The rehearsal process was incredibly short, virtually non-existent. I arrived upstate New York on a Saturday night, I think, and on Sunday we got together and rehearsed the scene around the dinner table, because and moving into the living room, that whole kind of sequence. And I'm glad we had a little bit of time, because it is an incredibly dense scene and there are so many different choices that could be made. So just to kind of all get on the same page, and in talking about them all kind of being of the same mind, and there's a kind of stream, although they've all got separate lines, there is a kind of stream of conscious quality to the conversation. So playing with the rhythm of that was it was great to be able to kind of get like a structure that we could follow within the length of the scene. It made shooting it. It was good to not have to think about that and allow other things to come up. I think that's the most exciting thing, when there's kind of a safe understanding of what's happening, and then on the day it takes on its own energy, and it just becomes. That's always really exciting, when something comes up that no one was ever planning. So that happened quite a bit on this, because it was encouraged.